Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is March 31st, 2023, and it's reported that Barcelona could sue UEFA if the European governing body decides to sanction Barcelona in regards to the Enriquez Negreira case. Also, Barcelona's Vice President Rafa Yuste has confirmed that the club are in contact with Messi's entourage in regards to his return. And finally, Jules Kunde could end up being Barcelona's right back for quite some time, as the club have not finalized decision on whether they're going to be signing a right back during the summer. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and we'll begin with the news that tomorrow is the big day, as La Liga will be resuming after the international break, which felt like it was way too long because I couldn't wait until I saw Barcelona back in action. And the team are set to face off against Elche in what will be match day number 27. Now, Barcelona have announced the squad list for tomorrow's match, and these players are Marc Ter Stegen, Ronald Araujo, Sergio Busquets, Robert Lewandowski, Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, Iñaki Peña, Marcos Alonso, Jordi Alba, Frank Kessie, Sergi Roberto, Jules Kunde, Eric Garcia, Alejandro Valde, Marc Casado, Gavi, Pablo Torre, Arnau Tenas, Alarcón, Estanis, and Alex Garrido. Now, a few surprises in tomorrow's squad list, starting with Ronald Araujo, who has been declared fit and has been included in the squad list for tomorrow. But as I reported previously, it looks like Barcelona have a plan for Ronald Araujo to arrive to El Clasico match healthy, and part of that plan is that he will be missing the match against Elche, so it's most likely that we are not going to see the Uruguayan defender tomorrow. But it is good news that he has been declared fit, because it means he will be ready for the second leg of the Copa del Rey semi-final that will be played on April 5th. Now, the second surprise of the squad list is that Gavi is now back with his number 30 jersey after La Liga decided to remove his registration as a first-team player. And the final surprise is the inclusion of several players from the Barca Athletic. So I'm very curious about what players are going to be starting tomorrow. I would love to hear from you, so drop a comment down below letting me know who do you think Xavi will be starting in tomorrow's match. Now, as we talked about in yesterday's video, Joan Laporta and the board of directors met with all the investors for the Espai Barca yesterday, where the Espai Barca investors, Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, made a new offer to Barcelona in regards to the structure of their investment. And it's now reported that Barcelona have approved this new structure, and they're now awaiting the final word from the investors on whether they're going to be moving ahead with their plans to fund the Espai Barca project. Now, as you already know by now, the Espai Barca project is going to be the project where we're going to see the total overhaul and modernization of the Spotify Camp Nou and all the Barcelona sporting facilities. This is a big project that will cost Barcelona 1.5 billion euros, with JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs financing that entire deal, with the first 500 million euros being loaned on a short-term basis with a 6% interest rate, the next 500 million euros being loaned on a medium-term basis with a 5% interest rate, and finally, the last 500 million euros that will be loaned to Barcelona on a long-term basis with a less than 5% interest rate. Now, Barcelona are hoping to receive a response from the investors by this weekend on whether they're going to be moving forward with funding the Espai Barca project. Now, I also mentioned in yesterday's video that Barcelona had officially notified the Royal Spanish Football Federation and UEFA that they're gonna be moving to the Olympic Stadium in Montjuic, as the Spotify Camp Nou will be undergoing a major renovation next season. And it seems that Barcelona have added a request to their move to Montjuic, and they have asked from the Royal Spanish Football Federation and La Liga that the first 3 matches that Barcelona will play next season to be away matches. That way, Barcelona have more time in order to prepare the Montjuic Stadium for Barcelona to be playing in next season. Now, you might think that the move to the Olympic Stadium in Montjuic will be as easy as the team just showing up and playing there, but that's not going to be the case. That stadium is very old, so Barcelona are going to have to do a lot of work to modernize it and bring it up to standard. standards. They're going to have to give it a facelift so it looks better for the fans. They're also going to have to install a lot of equipment for the media and for other kind of technological equipment that the team uses. And also the Royal Football Federation are going to have to install VAR equipment and all other equipment that the referees need. And there's finally the whole issue of transportation, because the Olympic Stadium does sit at the top of a mountain and it is a protected area where you can't really drive up there with your car. So Barcelona will be working with the city of Barcelona to add more bus lines in order to transport all the fans up to there. So it's going to be a big project to move the team to the Olympic Stadium. So Barcelona have requested that the first 3 matches will be away matches. That way it gives the club more time to bring that Olympic Stadium up to par. Now, this is a similar request to what Real Madrid asked last season, where they asked that the first 3 matches will be away matches because the Santiago Bernabeu was not ready, and that request was authorized. So we expect that the same thing does happen here with Barcelona. Now, another thing that was discussed during this meeting, where Barcelona approved the structure of the funding of the Espai Barça, the club also discussed possibly suing UEFA if UEFA decides to sanction Barcelona for the Enriquez Negreira case before the prosecutor's office makes any ruling. Now, as we've talked about before, the prosecutor's office in Spain has decided to launch an investigation and file charges of corruption against Barcelona for hiring Enriquez Negreira as a consultant while he was still the vice president of the board of referees. And even though there's absolutely no evidence that Barcelona bought any kind of referees or tried to buy any kind of influence, UEFA has also decided to send inspectors to Barcelona to investigate, and they could sanction Barcelona and prevent them from playing in the Champions League or the Europa League for 1 season. And if that happens before the prosecutor's office or before a court makes a ruling in regards to what happened in the Enriquez Negreira case, then Barcelona are contemplating suing UEFA for lost income. And according to UEFA rules, this lawsuit could bring in as much as 100 million euros for the club. Now, on to the news that today in a press conference, Barcelona Vice President Rafa Yuste made some statements confirming that Barcelona were in contact with Messi's entourage. And these statements have launched a storm in the media claiming that Messi will be coming back to Barcelona. Now, Rafa Yuste said, "Messi knows how much we appreciate them. I would love for him to come back. We have contacts with them. We hope to find the right conditions to continue his history here. The beautiful stories of life have to end happily." Now, as I already said, these statements have launched a huge storm in the media claiming that Messi is for sure in talks with Barcelona and that he will be coming back next season. But I think it's very important to maintain a level and cool head, because that is not exactly what Rafa Yuste said. What he said was he confirmed what we already knew, that Barcelona would love to bring Messi back because Joan Laporta does not like how things ended with the Barcelona legend. And it also confirmed what we already knew, which is Barcelona are in contacts with the entourage of Lionel Messi, which we already knew this from before, because as I reported before, Joan Laporta did meet with Lionel Messi's father a few weeks ago. So there's nothing new in Rafa Yuste's statements. He's just confirming that Barcelona would love to have Messi back, but whether Barcelona will be able to, there's a whole different story, because again, as I mentioned time and time again in my previous videos, Barcelona cannot afford Lionel Messi's salary, even if he reduces it by 50%. Now, a lot of you have brought up a point in the comment section that if Lionel Messi does come to Barcelona, he would generate a lot of revenue for the club. And yes, that is true. If Messi does sign with Barcelona, he would bring with him a lot of sponsorship deals. Also, he would bring with him, of course, the sales of his jerseys and his merchandise, which would generate a lot of money for the club. But again, we are putting the horse before the cart. Before we can count on all the revenues that Messi would generate for Barcelona, Barcelona would first have to sign him. And in order to sign him, they need to figure out how to fit his wage within their wage bill. And as of now, that's absolutely impossible. So we can't count on his revenues if he can't even sign for Barcelona. Now, I'm not saying that this is absolutely impossible and it's not going to happen, that Barcelona are not going to sign Messi. But as of now, March 31st, it's impossible for Barcelona to sign Lionel Messi given the financial problems that they have and given the financial fair play rules that Javier Tebas seem to keep imposing on Barcelona. Now, on to the news that Barcelona have reached out to Ousmane Dembele in order to begin discussing his contract renewal with the club. Now, the French player's contract will expire in the summer of 2024, and it seems that he has reported to Barcelona that he's very happy at the club, especially with the arrival of Xavi and all the new signings over the summer, where Dembele has been able to improve his performance this season and where he feels like a very important piece of Xavi's project. And as such, Dembele has made it very clear to Barcelona that he wants to remain at the club and he wants to renew his contract past the summer of 2024. Now, given Dembele's statements, Barcelona are not too in a hurry to begin negotiations because they trust that Dembele wants to remain at Barcelona for more seasons. So we're gonna see so Barcelona will be focusing now on their other priorities, which is of course to reduce their wage bill by 200 million euros, to register the contracts of Gavi, Araujo, Sergi Roberto, and Marcos Alonso, and to renew the contract of Alejandro Balde. Now, speaking of all the priorities that Barcelona need to do this summer, it's reported that Jules Kunde could end up playing in the right-back position longer than initially expected. Now, given that Barcelona have to do so many things this summer, they are not too sure about whether they're going to have enough space on their wage bill to sign a player to reinforce a right-back position. So Barcelona could end up not signing anyone, and Jules Kunde could end up playing in the right-back position for a bit longer. Now, Kunde has made it clear on several occasions that he prefers to play in a center-back because he is a natural center-back. So we're going to have to see how this plays out, because after all, both Kunde and Araujo were signed so they can be the starting center-backs for Barcelona. And to have Kunde played in the right-back position for more than one season, in my opinion, is not the right way to go about it. Because yes, Jules Kunde does play really well in the right-back position, but that is not his natural position. Again, we had Alejandro Balde once play in the right-back position, and he did a pretty good job. Doesn't mean that we should play him there. His natural position is a left-back, and that's where he shines the most. And the same goes for Kunde, where his natural position is a center-back, and that's where he shines most. So we're gonna have to see how this plays out. Now, Barcelona do have other options besides having Jules Kunde play in the right-back position. There's still the option of Sergi Roberto, who's played in that position for many seasons. And there's, of course, the case of Julian Araujo, who Barcelona signed from the MLS over the winter transfer market, but they weren't able to register his contract on time, but they are hoping to register his contract in the summer. And he's currently training with the Barca Athletic, and if he shows that he's capable of playing with the first team, there's no doubt that he will be promoted to the first team come next season. Now, on to the news. There seems that there's one more thing that's preventing Ilkay Gundogan to sign for Barcelona besides that release clause that I discussed in a previous video. Now, as I mentioned before, the first two signings for Barcelona in the summer will be Íñigo Martínez, who they already signed and finalized his contract, and the second signing will be Ilkay Gundogan, who has agreed to come to Barcelona and who Xavi would love to have him on his squad. Now, I mentioned that Barcelona had offered Ilkay Gundogan a clause in his contract that states that if Barcelona cannot register him because of their wage bill, then he will be loaned out to a different club that could match his salary. And it seems that the German-Turkish player had rejected that release clause, and that seemed to be the only reason why he hadn't signed for Barcelona yet. But it's now being revealed that there's also another reason why this agreement has not been finalized, and that is the financial aspect. Now, it seems that Ilkay Gundogan is asking for a signing bonus and a salary that's a bit higher than what Barcelona could offer. So for now, Barcelona have not been able to reach a final agreement with the player, but nonetheless, both parties will continue negotiating in hopes that they'll reach an agreement pretty soon, so we can see Ilkay Gundogan arrive in Barcelona as a free agent. Now, we will end today's video with the news that Ansu Fati has officially apologized to the locker room and to the club for the statements that his father, Bodi Fati, made a few days ago. Now, I discussed this in the live stream on Wednesday, where I mentioned the statements that Bodi Fati had said that if it was up to him, he would take Ansu Fati to another club. And I said that it was very important that we distinguish Ansu Fati from his father, because they are two different people, and that's not Ansu Fati's state of mind. He wants to stay in Barcelona and not leave, and it seems that Ansu Fati was also upset by what his father said, and he has officially apologized to the locker room and to the club. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Pisca Barça.